Hello, and welcome to Cutting Through the Ball with the Post-Truth Apocalypse Weird News.
It's not a bedtime story.
I really wanted to go with a soothing voice.
Alright, okay.
I'm Ben, and I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
And Claire.
Hi.
Anyway, scrap that. Right, let's do some weird news. What we got
That just freaked me out.
I did it to purposely throw you both off and test out my read you to sleep voice.
Huh. Fair enough.
Alright, this is from the Daily Mail. Actually, I've got a couple of fucked up
Daily
facts.
Heil.
The Daily Heil. I've got a couple of fucked up facts for the end as well.
Have you?
Yeah. I found out this week. So, alright then. A man, 39, cut off his penis and threw it out of the car in police chase in Tennessee. He was being chased by police in Tennessee. He says he heard voices on the radio telling him it would save the world. Cut your dick off, it'll save the world. You shouldn't be breeding. Presumably. Tyson Gilbert, 39, allegedly said voices in the radio told him he would save the world. And he led law enforcement officers from 6 different departments on a car chase. That's not bad, to be fair.
It's proper Grand Theft Auto, isn't it?
Tyson Gilbert, 39, from Cookville in Putnam County, Tennessee. That sounds proper redneck. Cookville in Putnam County. Led police officers on a wild car chase through 2 counties in Tennessee as he headed towards the interstate on Wednesday morning. A Tennessee highway patrolman was the first to see Gilbert and mutilating himself after seeing the man who was driving naked, covered in blood.
Imagine seeing that.
Well, at first you think he was some sort of victim trying to drive away from somebody. You try and help, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And then he's like, whoa, what you done that for? He was eventually stopped by members of the Alexandria Police Department who managed to box in his car on the highway just before he reached the interstate. I like how they do that boxing in.
Yeah.
One either side, don't they?
Yeah, well, they get him against the concrete barrier and they
Yeah.
one will cut in front and the other. I like it. It's a bit of a ballet, but with cars.
Yeah.
He was taken into custody and transferred to the Vanderbilt University Medical Center, although it is not known if his appendage was retrieved for reattachment.
Oh, it'd have been ran over, wouldn't it?
That's a shit job, isn't it?
What, combing the highway for someone's severed dick?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it could be tiny.
It could be a micro penis.
Could be a micro penis. Could be a 12-inch fucking hanging dong. Who knows? But it's still a shit job.
That.
I don't fancy
Scary
it. So,
miles
I
of
did not
highway.
join the police department to look for some crazy man's severed penis.
Give me
Sheriff.
some gloves, for Christ's sake.
I want a litter picker as well. I want one of them grabby claws.
Yeah.
Gilbert, who was charged in 2020 with 4 counts of attempted car theft and resisting arrest by the Nashville Airport Police, so he's got previous, was first approached by Highway Patrolman Bobby Johnson as his Honda Accord was partially parked in the road on the highway in Dowelltown. Do you know that Jesus drove a Honda?
Did he?
Yeah, he did not speak of his own accord. When Trooper Johnson approached the car, Gilbert took off down the highway. Johnson says that when I pulled up behind him and turned my lights on, he took off and refused to stop. He turned off on Old Liberty Road and he opened his door. He was naked and covered in blood. He then shut his door and kept driving. Cars from the Alexandria Police Department began to give chase, but Gilbert led them from Dowelltown into Wilson County, then into Watertown. If you're from Tennessee, that'll mean something to you. It means nothing to me. The police managed to lay down spikes on the road, or the old stinger.
I'll sing it. Yeah.
Deploy the stinger. I want to say that one, surreal. Deploy the stinger.
You best start, on your career in the police, then.
Hopefully someone will just let me do it one day. That's how I get most of these jobs. They just turn up and go, hey, you're in the right place at the right time. Fancy doing this? Fortunately, the damage caused by the road spikes severely hampered Gilbert's car, no shit, and forced him to slow down as he was driving on flat tyres. He was stopped and arrested just before he managed to reach the interstate. 6 different law enforcement departments have been chasing him, and they still got to look for his dick.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't pass out.
Probably had a lot to do with his catching up. Not only with the stinger would have played a part, I'd imagine the loss of blood would have... Because you'd have to do it when you had a hard on.
He was probably high, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, but you'd have to do it when you had a hard on, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want your fucking... You wouldn't want your grower. You want your shower.
I don't think that's going to be going through his mind when he's high.
It'd be going through mine.
And if it was hard, wouldn't it just like
There'd be a lot more blood there.
spit, and then you're more likely to pass out quite quickly?
Then I'd save lives too. I used to love how voices on the radio were saying, "Cut your dick off, Dyson."
That'll save the world.
I don't think it was a radio. I think it was someone dicking about on the CB. Cut your dick off, it'll save the world. All right.
Poor man was obviously mentally ill, wasn't he?
He was mentally
He
ill.
needed help.
Looked after somebody that once thought the TV was calling God. He was like, oh, you know, it was Beyonce singing. She says that I'm God. He said
Oh
the words.
my
I'm like, you're not God.
My nan used to think the people in the TV could see you. She had dementia at that point. Yeah, John Nettles from Bergerac was down the garden living in the shed apparently. He waved at her. Don't know why he was there, but I just thought, okay, now, great.
Bless.
Right, I think that's it for that one. That's
Yeah,
it.
moving on.
Yeah.
SAS troops fool Taliban by disguising as devout women in burqas in dramatic Kabul escape.
Well, it's got balls to it, I'll give it that. I'd have thought, though, if the Taliban were that good, they'd have noticed that, you know, these women were quite broad and were walking a lot different. Men and women walk very differently.
They do.
But, you know, who am I to argue?
A bit taller as well, generally.
Around 20 Special Forces troops are forced to travel thousands of miles to escape the country, which has since fallen into the Taliban's control once again. The troops had been on a mission in southern Afghanistan and were warned that no helicopters were available to evacuate them out of the country.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
All we can give you is these burqas.
Yeah. We got 20 of our best SAS soldiers in country. They cost like millions to train each. They're an asset to the country. No helicopters. There's got to be one helicopter somewhere. Couldn't you ask the Americans? Excuse me, could we borrow a helicopter for an afternoon?
The troops devised a cunning plan to escape by waving Taliban flags on their way to the capital of Kabul. Once in the capital, the troops donned burqas to hide in plain sight. A source told the Daily Star the SAS team had been in Afghanistan for months and had been on a secret reconnaissance mission when everything went belly up. They were told to abort the operation and to get ready for immediate extraction to Kabul.
Fucking hell.
It's some balls.
The troops ditched most of their equipment except for their weapons and ammo and covered themselves with the burqas. They then bought 5 taxis and drove to Kabul. Every time they came to a roadblock, an Afghan Special Forces soldier explained that the women were very devout and wanted to welcome the Taliban back into Afghanistan. It worked. There were a few dicey moments, but even the Taliban were reluctant to remove a burqa from a woman.
Oh, so it works, you know, in a different way, sort of.
I guess. I mean, it's clever, because they're not going to strip a woman of her burqa. But at the same time, they're thinking, my, there was some big women. You know? It's like, oh man, those are some big women. And I suppose you got to look at eye colour as well. I mean, you traditionally don't get, like, blue-eyed, green-eyed Arabic people, do you? I mean, there's probably a couple that knocking around, but let's say that I'm in a burqa, right? Big chap, I've got bright blue eyes, might be a bit of a giveaway. I'd have to pretend to be asleep.
My, what a big frame you have there. My, what blue eyes you have.
Yeah.
My, what a big weapon you have.
Why, thank you, I didn't think you could see it in the burqa. Is that a 5.56 armour light rifle? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's interesting. Number one, where's the helicopters? Number two, I mean, I'll give it its due for its ingenuity.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time,
It's age old, isn't it? You know,
it is literally. This is Nuns on the Run, the Islamic version.
Yeah.
I want Robbie Coltrane to do this now.
Nuns on the Run?
I've
I've never seen it, but it sounds shit.
Yeah.
Nuns on the Run's awesome. It's Robbie Coltrane and I can't remember the other guy, and they're 2 robbers, and they disguise themselves as nuns to get away from the police.
Moving on.
Yep.
So, a Russian swims miles to Japan to apply for asylum.
I can believe it with the Russians.
So, a Russian man from the island of Kundashir,
Kunashia?
to the Japanese coastal town of Shibetsu on the island of
Hokkaido.
Hokkaido to ask for political asylum on Sunday.
He swam 12 miles? I mean, fuck me, you've got to be really desperate, haven't you?
That's not that far.
That's about.
Oh, you swim 12
When they said
miles?
Russia, when they said he swam from Russia to Japan,
Yeah,
I was thinking
what?
that's got to be fucking hundreds, if not thousands, of miles. But no, it's a Russian-controlled island 12 miles of the Japanese coast?
12 miles is a lot.
That's just under half the channel between France and...
Yeah.
Channels...
About 25, isn't it? So
Yeah.
So it's just under half, isn't it?
Well, you swim 12 miles.
Well,
You sink after 200
swim 12
yards.
miles.
it's not bad, but it's not as incredible as the headline makes you believe it to be.
Yeah. So Japanese authorities have not yet provided official confirmation of the Russian asylum seeker's identity, but an unnamed source close to the investigation named a man as Vas Fenzix Knockout. Yeah?
Close enough.
Yeah, a 38-year-old native of Izbek.
It's got somewhere in Russia.
Is that island? He was detained by the Japanese authorities and taken to the police station in Hokkaido, where he was interrogated about his journey. The unnamed source told Russia state-run outlet IA Novosti, "It looks like he has got there in a wetsuit. He has just crossed the 12-mile strait by swimming."
Also remember, for all we know, this is a really busy shipping lane. He could have been dodging Korean grain carriers while swimming in his wetsuit.
Could be sharks as well, to be fair.
Could be sharks.
At least he's wearing a wetsuit, you know. I was thinking at first, crikey, you know, that is a bit of a feat with no wetsuit on, but with it, you know.
I suppose he just had to smear himself in lard like Captain Webb did when he swam the channel.
What's the weather like around there?
It's Japan, so I'm guessing it's fairly warm.
Warm at these
Pacific
times.
Ocean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then you got them sharks. And them cold, doll-like eyes. 1,200 men went into the water. 400 came out.
What a film that is.
Actually, I want to cover the USS Indianapolis at one point. That's what that quote's about.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Knockout was allegedly deported by Japanese authorities in 2011 for breaking visa rules and has a track record for forging official documents, which saw him deported from Thailand and Bali.
So he's a bit of a lad then, isn't he? Forging documents, swimming seas.
Yeah.
Just wants to get out of Russia really badly. So it's too fucking cold here.
I imagine it's because the authorities are after him, probably.
Maybe that too.
Yeah, maybe he's against the Russians, you don't know, do you?
Oh, hang on. There's painted a damning picture of his character. He could be a paedophile for all we know.
Yeah.
So he lived in the Kuril Islands for 3 years. He didn't work anywhere, lived in Golovino village, slept in a tent and settled with whom he met, they added.
Well, that's no more than anyone else in Telford.
He's a bit of a homosexual, isn't he? I
Yeah.
love you, let me stay here. I love you.
I'll get me stuff, I'll be in tomorrow.
So, Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary,
Katsunobu Kato.
Kato said Monday that the government will take appropriate measures after confirming the details of the Russians' nationals' arrivals, according to RIA Novosti.
In all fairness, if it is a small fishing, it's a little island, there's a small fishing town with a population only a few thousand, one of the few places that's inaccessible by train in Japan. Wow, I'm actually impressed by that. I bet it's a nice little it's a paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Japan's a beautiful island in the countryside.
Mm.
I bet it is literally, I could do that, sat in a little Japanese fishing village.
Isn't Japan made up of four different islands?
Yeah. Don't ask me to name them.
Some of them are quite, got really good infrastructure, really good trains, and
Oh, the whole of Japan is, from what I've seen on the telly, is like their infrastructure's phenomenal. Their public transport's second to none. If your train is 20 seconds late, you get a little ticket explaining to your boss why you're late for work. Stuff like that. It's like Japanese trains being off time are incredibly rare.
Mm.
Didn't you ever see the Top Gear episode where Clarkson had to race Hammond and May and they took public transport and he
Oh, yeah.
and that's like, they reckon it's probably the closest they've ever got to winning one, really, because the Japanese public transport system's so effective.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this island, Kunashi, is a part of the Kuril Islands, a small cluster of land which is under Russian control but whose ownership is disputed by Japan.
So that's where the guys come from.
Yeah. The dispute has prevented the two nations from signing a World War II peace treaty to this day.
Yeah, they're still technically at war.
Oh, fuck.
That's the forever war, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Actually, the Korean War as well, the UN and North Korea never signed a peace treaty, they just ceasefire and that was it. They're still technically at war.
Yeah. And Russia plans to build 51 new pieces of military infrastructure in the Kuril Islands as well, so they're not going to be letting go of it quite that easily, are they?
Not.
No, they want that Pacific Island base, don't they? They want that naval base, extend their influence into the Pacific a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he might be there for a little bit longer, isn't he?
He may be. Because the Japanese think it'll annoy the Russians, I just let him stay.
Yeah. They might be able to get intel or, you know.
And then Putin will send someone after him with an umbrella full of poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh well. Good luck to him. The little homosexual bastard.
If he's just a stray, fair play to him. Stray where you want, you know.
I think you should be able to go wherever you want anyway. In the world, if I want to go and live somewhere, I should be able to go and do it.
Open borders.
Yeah, why not?
In an ideal world, yeah. If everyone in the world was equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then, okay. A hermit living in a cave for 20 years finds out about COVID on a rare trip to the supermarket. Wow. A 70-year-old Serbian cave dweller who has spent 20 years in his remote hilltop home made an unusual journey to the local supermarket and even got his jab after learning what COVID is.
What the fuck? Why?
He's like, so he's there, he's like, oh, I haven't been to the supermarket in about 5 years. Fancy some chicken burgers. I'm going to go and get some chicken burgers. Why is everyone wearing a mask? What's going on? Wow. It's impressive. Cave-bound hermit who separated himself from society 20 years ago and has almost never returned, learned about COVID on a rare trip to town. Social distancing king, Panter Petrovic, I'll say so, he beats you, Mike, got his jab soon after. The self-exiled Serbian who lives in a cave atop the Stara Planina mountains in southern Serbia. He said he retired to the hills 2 decades to avoid other people.
I know that feeling.
Panter told AFP, I presume that's the Serbian news network, said, I was not free in the city. There is always someone in your way. You either argue with your wife, neighbours or the police. Here, nobody is hassling me. Why do I get the feeling he just really didn't like his wife? And he couldn't afford the divorce. Fuck you, I want to go and live in a cave.
Some people just have enough, don't they?
And his neighbours and everybody, you know. He's listing everybody, isn't he?
He's seen the system for what it is and realises it's a bag of shit.
No, he just doesn't like people. His wife was always bitching at him to do stuff. People are in his way. He doesn't like people.
Not a people person.
No, that's what it is. He's just not a people person. I mean, he's still coming to the supermarket. He doesn't mind capitalism that much.
Where's he got the money from?
That's a valid point. Where is he getting the money from? Now he'd get a pension, wouldn't he? I don't know. Maybe he's got a bank account. He's got to be on some record. He's getting jabbed.
Yeah.
He also took the opportunity to advise people to get vaccinated. Petrovic said, COVID does not pick. It will come here to my cave too. I don't know about that.
No one's going there.
I suppose technically he could take it back to the cave with him as a carrier.
Yeah.
I want to get all 3 doses, including the extra one. I urge every citizen to get vaccinated, every single one. And he added he doesn't understand the fuss anti-vaxxers make about the injections. And neither do I, to be honest.
No.
If you don't want to take your COVID injection because you're worried about what you're putting into your body, or you're worried that you're just making it easier for Big Pharma to take over the world, do you are prepared to go and take this what's it called? Invectin? Which is Invectin, which if you can get hold of, might do something, but if you're buying it in its horseworming thing, well, that's not good to put into your body. It can make you sterile, if not kill you anyway. Or both.
I don't think all anti-vaxxers go down that route.
Or if you're doing it because you hate Big Pharma, well, that stuff's made by the 4th biggest pharmaceutical company in America. So I don't see where they're coming from with that. Just go and get the fucking jab, and have done with it. You're all dying. Loads of you are dying from this in America. I mean, you've got a really unhealthy population. That's why we had it as bad in the UK. We've got an incredibly unhealthy population. Whereas places like Japan and Korea, where people's diets are better, and they take care of themselves better, they live longer because they're healthier people, have barely been touched by this.
Yeah, but then again, you can't blame them. They've been lied to for so long. The powers that be.
They've all gone crazy.
Yeah, don't trust anything now.
No.
And the media's not helped.
No, it hasn't, but at the same time, it's just like, fucking hell, just have the fucking jab. They moan about wearing a fucking mask. Just go in the shop, put it on your face. Leave the shop, take it off. Job's a good un. It's no hardship. It's a bondage muzzle. Well, clearly you've never really watched a lot of kink, because I've never seen that in a video. Yeah.
And this maniac's getting a fucking
and
job.
this guy's been living in a cave for 20 years has gone, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to have it while I'm here.
That makes no sense. Does it?
Not really.
You know, if you're going back to your cave, you're going to be on your own for the next 10 years. You know, he's... How old's he again?
70.
Maybe he's like, in his old age, he's like thinking, you know what, I might come down a bit more now, I'm old.
Well, you might need caring for in a few years, you don't know, do you?
Well, yeah, if he's living in a cave, I mean, he's really going to get pneumonia.
He's only got to have one fall.
Yeah.
End up on... Well, he'd just starve, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Unless he's got a mobile phone.
You won't get COVID though.
Won't get COVID.
Definitely won't get COVID, and that, I think, is the moral of the story.
However, if they did find him and he'd had the jab, you know...
Yeah.
They'd have put it down as the jab. Wouldn't they, the anti-vaxxers?
That 70-year-old man living in a cave died from COVID. The jab did nothing. No, he fell over. They just Thing is, in the UK, he could fall over and have a heart attack and die, and they still say that he had COVID.
That's what's fucking with people's heads, I think. You know, they've known people that have died of X, Y, or Z, but it's still got COVID mentioned on their death certificate. You know, they're not doing autopsies for all these people. They can't be. So it's more of a guessing game, or you know.
A friend of mine his granddad died of cancer during the COVID pandemic, and they all know it was coming. He'd been ill for about 12 months. And they were like, on his death certificate, it said COVID. And they're like, he didn't have COVID. Well, we tested him after he was dead. He had fucking cancer. I'm pretty sure that's what killed him.
Yeah. It's that skewing numbers. You can understand why people are a bit reluctant. And then...
But maybe he may have lived if he hadn't got COVID as well when he had cancer.
And you've got to think, there's not been, ever since the start of the pandemic, they were all like reporting and investigating where this had come from. It's just gone silent, hasn't it, really? Nothing else really has come of it.
Still maintaining it was man-made and released by accident.
Yeah, it's probably the most.
Or on purpose, because the Chinese are just going to fuck with everyone's economies to make their own better. Where's all the PPE made? In China.
Yeah.
I read
but
somewhere.
they're not going to release it in their own country, are they?
Of course it is. There's no shortage of Chinese people, mate.
Yeah, but it doesn't look good, does it?
Well, this virus has just appeared from somewhere.
The fact that the US president called it the China virus for 4 years.
Still bought their PPE, Mike.
Yeah, but it's destroyed their reputation on what little they had.
Chinese don't care.
Or maybe not, but nah.
I don't know. I read a thing saying the next global crash was going to be caused by China lying about its GDP, and this pandemic has just boosted their GDP massively because everyone's buying their PPE off them.
Right.
I don't know about that.
It's just a conspiracy theory I heard.
I'm not sure myself, but
It does sound a bit QAnon-ish, but just saying, it's a possibility. Alright then, Mike?
next up, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos funds new age reversal company opening in UK.
Superb. We'll all be living forever soon.
Oh, Jesus. Who wants that? Altos Labs has raised at least $270 million, £231 million, to look into whether biological reprogramming technology could revitalise animal bodies, ultimately prolonging human life.
Oh, so great. So you can have your dog lasting longer and you can live forever.
Oh, I want my dog lasting longer.
Yeah.
I'm in for this.
Yeah, a new startup that aims to reverse ageing is planning to open a lab in the UK. The company, which was incorporated in the US and the UK earlier this year, is reported to have billionaires Jeff Bezos and Yuri Milner among its investors, according to MIT Technology Review.
Well, of course they want to live forever. They're billionaires. He's just been into space. Of course he wants to live forever.
His cock rocket.
In his cock rocket.
Shinya Yamanaka, who shared a 2012 Nobel Prize for the discovery of reprogramming, will act as an unpaid senior scientist and will chair the company's scientific advisory board.
I bet he's not unpaid. I bet he gets Amazon Prime. At least. I bet he gets the telly and the next day delivery.
He found that with the addition of just 4 proteins, cells can be instructed to revert to a primitive state with the properties of embryonic stem cells.
That's cool.
Carlos Belmonte, a Spanish scientist, also reportedly joining Altos, applied these principles to entire living mice, achieving signs of age reversal and leading him to term reprogramming a potential elixir of life.
Nice.
He has predicted that human lifespans could be increased by 50 years. And they also think that we could live to 150 years naturally if we didn't, all the toxins and poisons that we ingest for our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, with our diet, well, saying that, our food is probably killing us. Let's say that we're eating organically and we're living now with modern medical science, then we'd be pushing life expectancy to shoot up, wouldn't it? It's just the unhealthy factor in society and as individuals that we make.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, lifespan. I mean, like 14th century. I think you could, if you're working class, you could expect to live to 51 comfortably. Obviously, the lords, barons, kings lived sort of made their 70s, 80s. But nowadays everyone's sort of making it to 70, 80, aren't they? And those very rich amongst us are making it longer. The Queen's going to be 100 soon, isn't she? She's 95. Something like that, 94, 95.
Yeah, she's...
Phil was 99.
Yeah.
Bezos reflected on ageing in his final letter to Amazon shareholders before stepping down as CEO, saying, "Starving off death is a thing that you have to work at. If living things don't actively work to prevent it, they would eventually merge with their surroundings and cease to exist as autonomous beings. That is what happens when they die."
I think they've got to research this a little bit more because you've only got these stem cells have only got to just pick up the wrong message or go the wrong way, and they could turn to some sort of cancer.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, it's early days. Yeah.
So.
But the mice.
Some of them did. Some of the mice did get cancer.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I didn't touch that.
Yeah.
It was saying messing with its DNA and taking it back to a primitive stem cell is like almost something that isn't been assigned yet, so it can take on whatever form it sort of wants to go into. That's they can build bone out of it. They can build bone marrow and all sorts. You could
end up with an arm growing out of your arm.
I don't think it would. It couldn't do like a whole arm I
was hoping for like mutations and shit.
Yeah, it doesn't start
the old cells.
I
just wanted 4 arms. I wanted 4 arms.
The skin comes on the outside, it's not like that.
Every 7 years, we're a completely different person.
Right, okay.
Because all your cells have died and...
Yeah.
I know the hair goes in hair goes
every
in a
time
cycle.
But every time that the cells...
duplicate.
Yeah, they lose a little bit of DNA.
It's like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy on the old videotape.
And
the quality just gets worse.
Yeah, basically.
And that's why our skin goes all saggy and...
Yeah. Yep, and wrinkled and things,
wrinkled.
Yeah.
And houses smell a bit funny.
Yeah.
Then you start smelling the piss.
But if you can get them cells back to stem cells, they can become new cells without that damaged copy, I guess.
And you won't smell a piss for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd only have to put in X amount of million stem cells, and then once they'd reproduced, they'd be back at that rejuvenated state.
But unfortunately, with the mice, that happened to some of them, but some of them also got cancer. So we'd have to sort of obviously make sure that we can stop that from happening.
Yeah, you got to put some little gene code in that reprogram that says don't become cancer.
Well, fuck knows how to do it. But
it's clever shit.
Yeah.
If we get into this, surely we've got to the cure of cancer. It's got to be on the, it's got to be around the corner, isn't it?
Trouble is, they make too much money off it, don't they? Maybe the incentive's not there.
That's the problem with this big pharma thing. That's why I'm on board with something, because it's like you make more money from treatment rather than cure, don't you?
Yep.
That's where sometimes they do have a point, and I think that's it. But I'd like to think that if he did actually have a cure for it now, they don't. I'd like to think they wouldn't sit on it. I
don't think the scientists of the world would sit on it, would they?
No, I mean, even if you're working in some jail or not, come on, you
know that
this is going to change the world.
We know money corrupts everything, so.
I know, but you're right. This thing's going to change the world. This little vial I've got here.
What happens if his boss doesn't want to get it out?
That's it, innit? You got to sneak it out inside your bum.
If they suspect that, they're going to probably silence you. Or you kill you before you get the chance.
Yeah.
Well, you'd make if I was in that sort of position, there's not just going to be one of you working on the cure for cancer, is it? It's going to be like a collective. And, if anything, you'd send a little email or a little something to somebody in another country, another doctor,
But what they do is
collaborated with and just send them that.
They just divert the resources, don't they? So they're like, the people actually looking for the cure won't get as much money as people looking for more treatments. That's the way they do it, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up.
Well, you know, immunotherapy, £100,000 for, you know, a 1 year course of treatment. That's a cancer treatment. That.
Yeah. So you think, well, it's a lot of money, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many people are having that a year? Like worldwide?
Yeah.
You know, it all adds up.
Or is that just 100,000 for the NHS? You know, it might be cheaper, but you don't know what.
That's it. I mean,
what is being charged.
In America, that could be $1 million.
Yeah.
You don't know, do you?
You don't know what it could be. Yeah.
I mean, it probably isn't, but it could be. I mean, you know that the guy who made Apple would have, Steve Jobs, he'd have had it. Instead, he just decided to try and eat leaves, and died from bowel cancer. He was, no, I'm not having the medical treatments. I'm going to do this the homeopathic way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he probably could have lived. It's a shitter.
Moving on, ghost penis caught on camera and stunned paranormal fans inside haunted bar.
Let's give it the gravitas it deserves. Ghost penis.
Caught on camera by stunned paranormal fans in haunted bar.
Ooh. Well, it is coming up to Halloween.
Oh yeah. Ghost hunters Corinne Veen and Sabrina Dina Roger were at a bachelorette party in New Orleans when they came upon the shock discovery in their supposedly haunted bar.
Oh, let's have a look. Can we pause it and let's watch the video?
There's no video. It's something
else. Man.
So the ghost haunting duo was shocked when when they captured what they thought was a spirit penis while on a bachelorette trip. The discovery was made in John Lafitte Blacksmith's Bar, an iconic ghost hunting venue in what is believed by many to be the US's most haunted city.
Yeah, it is apparently.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. Yeah.
I don't believe in it though. So.
Apparently, there's a lot of. It's a very unhappy city, New Orleans, historically.
Isn't there a lot of like soul and blues and da 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 wow 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 wow?
Yeah, blues
and
everything.
That
Southern Comfort's from New Orleans, so everyone's just getting slashed on Southern Comfort and listening to blues.
Yeah.
And the Mardi Gras, I'd really like to go to the Mardi Gras. I just think it'd be a great experience.
Yeah.
So the bar, without electricity and eerily candle lit, is named after John Lafitte, a local famous for acts of piracy in the early 1700s. However, when the ghost hunting duo glimpsed into the bar's fireplace for signs of treasure or a ghost, they were shocked with what they discovered. Speaking on their podcast, 2 Girls and 1 Ghost, Corinne said, "We did not capture a photo of anybody's face, but we did capture a penis."
Can anyone see it?
No.
Oh, I can't. Well, because I know where it is.
Your eyes are just immediately drawn to penises, aren't they?
Coming right out the end of her nose.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, right.
Right, yeah.
Okay, well, it's a very small penis.
It's a very small penis.
But if the guy was a pirate, I can see this is the sort of thing he'd do. Just wave his dick around.
Could it be a shadow?
Well, yeah, it's not a ghost's penis, is it?
It looks to me like a bit of a... They call them orbs, but it's lens flare, isn't it? A bit of dust that's picked up off the flash, and it's just, I don't know, maybe it's moved across, and that's why you've got this little trail.
Yeah.
Maybe. A little bit of dust.
She says, "It straight up looks like a circumcised penis."
Yep.
Well, I suppose it does. She is looking at it. Well, she's looking intently into the other woman's eyes. She's either looking at the penis or looking really intently into her eyes. God, I almost want them to kiss to break the tension.
I was say he was taking the pictures. I thought it was just a duo.
She might have a selfie stick.
Oh yeah. Well, it is called
Two
Girls, One Ghost. They are going to kiss any second, aren't they?
They are. I think they are, and I'm okay with that.
As long as there's no shit involved.
It's not called 2 Girls, 1 Ghost, and I'm going to shit in her mouth.
It's a plan, 2 girls, 1 cup, innit?
Yeah, I know, yeah. I know, I never made it to that video.
I never watched it at all.
Oh, it's vile.
Never made it. I lasted till she squatted over the cup, and I was like, oh no, I am out.
Is it meant to be chocolate pudding or something?
No.
I thought they injected chocolate pudding into their arse.
Maybe then, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Just I did it with the vomit then.
It looks like shit anyway, but it's fucking vile.
Well, it could be a dick.
But it's not though, is it?
No, it's not.
This pirate, John, is meant to visit there quite frequent, and the host Connie says people see him all the time. If this is your regular drinking spot, chances you're gonna see John Lafati or Fatty.
Oh god, just imagine that. You go at the piss and you're a bit pissed and you sort of, you should do this sort of bounce off the one wall to the other as you go in the toilet and you're a bit smashed, and then there's going to be a fucking pirate in the way. And then if you're that drunk, you're just going to go, alright mate, and just barge past him. And he's like, oh, do you know who I am? You wave your arm vaguely at him and I'll catch you in a bit. Get me a drink.
I'm surprised if they haven't got some sort of little, there's little holograms there going up the side of the walls just to, give the patrons the feel of,
No, probably.
Yeah. I'd have a little smoke machine with smoke coming out of the bar every now, from around the bar every now and then.
Definitely project ghostly shapes into the smoke.
Yeah.
Ghostly cocks.
Ghostly cocks.
Ghostly cocks.
Ghost cock.
On that bombshell.
On that bombshell, let's end the show. Thank you very much. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. And if you are trapped in Afghanistan as a Special Forces soldier and you're listening to us, remember that donning a burqa and hiring a taxi might be your best way to escape.
Yeah.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I'll be Claire. Don't trip your penis out the car. Don't drop it off full stop, actually.
Yeah, you need that.
Potentially.
Well, you need to piss out of.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
You might need it in the afterlife.
True.
Yeah.
True.